Gearheads! It's been a long time since we last did a 3-row SUV review, but now things are even crazier. We've been reviewing the two brand new 3-row SUVs for the past month, and believe me, you'll be shocked when you see their specs. So stay tuned till the very end, because this is something that you've never seen on this channel before. First things first, when we went to a dealership, they straight up said that the cars were sold out. So I barely managed to review a Honda Pilot and Nissan Pathfinder. Their pricing is one of their reasons for being high in demand, and the Pilot starts at the LX trim, which cost about $38,485 and goes all the way up to the highest trim named the Elite, which comes in at $53,875. On the other side, we have the Nissan Pathfinder, and that has the basic trim that starts at $38,040, named the S, and the highest trim is the Platinum, which comes in around $51,010. For comparison, we'll have the EX1 model for the Pilot and the S1 for the Pathfinder. Both of these come in at $43,795 and $44,460 respectively. The price is slightly different, with $665 in favor of Honda, but we'll see which fits the price best in the end. Or else, Andrew Tate will be disappointed. No points for either company yet, so let's keep going. Number 2, power and engines. The Honda Pilot runs on a 3.5-liter V6 engine that has an astonishing 285 horsepower and has a 10-speed automatic transmission. It's front-wheel drive, but you have the option to get an all-wheel drive version. On the road, you can feel little bumps thanks to its suspension, but only the large holes are actually a challenge. The V6 engine gives the Pilot 262 pound-feet of torque. However, the torque may vary from 240 pounds to 262 depending on the terrain. It has a 1-inch special suspension lift with steel skid plates, but there are high hopes that we won't get any lawsuits this time. Now let's look at the Nissan. The 3-row competitor has almost the same specs with a 3.5-liter V6, but it produces 284 horsepower. It's also front-wheel drive, but all trims have the option to get an all-wheel drive version. It comes with a 9-speed automatic transmission, but be careful because... But as compared to the Pilot, the Pathfinder has a fixed torque of 259 pounds per foot. And I think it's pretty obvious who the winner in this category is. So let's give 1 point to our Honda fans, and they're now up 1-0 against Nissan. Now, let's talk about speed. These SUVs might look normal, but they can hit your X so fast that you won't even notice it. The Pilot can only be driven by a pilot, because it can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4.8 seconds, and it has a top speed of 124 miles per hour. It takes roughly 40 seconds to attain the top speed. Meanwhile, the Nissan Pathfinder takes around 7 seconds to reach the 60 miles per hour mark. But the Nissan has more power because it has a top speed of 131 miles per hour. It sounds pretty amazing for an SUV.
Do you have any idea how fast I am?
Now, when we're talking about top speed, Nissan wins out, hands down. And the scores are now 1-1 for both cars. Now, let's talk about fuel economy and payload. Just like my Uncle Ben said, with great cars comes some great fuel economy. The Honda Pilot gives you an average of 19 miles per gallon economy in the city and 27 for the highway. The combined fuel economy for the Pilot's 22 miles per gallon for the all-wheel drive version. If we're talking about the Nissan Pathfinder, it has a rating of 21 miles per gallon in the city and 27 on the highway. This gives it a combined economy of 23 miles per gallon. However, the front-wheel drive can give you a mind-boggling economy at 26 miles per gallon. It sounds too good to be true, doesn't it? As far as the power factor is concerned, both of these tycoons can easily handle up to 5,000 pounds of payload. And come on, we have to give this point to Nissan, because 1 more mile is always better, right?
Yeah, boy.
Let us know which car you think will win before we move on to talking about the exterior. When it comes to the exterior, the Honda Pilot's almost the same shape, with no big changes overall. It has more grille and a boxy design with full reflector LEDs, daytime running lights, and turn signals. It has fog lamps and 7.3 inches of space from the front bumper to the ground. On the sides, we have the typical 19-inch alloys, while the highest trim has a 20-inch option. The mirrors are auto-dimming and have blind spot monitoring, while on the back are LED brake lights. However, the reverse signal and the turn signal are incandescent. Now, let's jump to the Nissan to see which one has a more aggressive look. On the front, we have a boxy look with the U-shaped chrome bordering the black grille. And on both sides, we have full reflector LED headlights and a turn signal. Meanwhile, the back has almost the same specs with LED taillights, incandescent turn signals, and reverse signal. However, there's big branding on the back, which some people aren't going to be a fan of. As far as the mirrors are concerned, it has blind spot monitoring and auto-dimming mirrors, so you aren't distracted when you're going 100 miles per hour on the highway. Since both cars are unique in their own way and everyone has their own taste, we're going to give both cars a point. So the scores are now 2-3 in favor of Nissan. Can the Pilot make a comeback? Number 6. Interior. As soon as you drop in the Pilot, you'll see some premium leather on the seats, and the seats have 10-way adjustment. However, there's no thigh extension, but the legroom's pretty solid. It has 41 inches of legroom and 40.5 inches of head spacing. The dashboard has some premium soft plastic, and one thing to notice is the large number of holding places in the front. You can fit 19 donuts in the middle storage. There are 3 storage spaces on the doors. The passenger has a slim space in front of them for cell phones, and there's also rear front storage. In front, there's a 9-inch display, but it doesn't have all that much built-in functionality. In the second row, we have 9 inches of knee spacing. The middle seat can be turned into a captain chair for cup holders, and you get some pretty good specs like a USB-C port, a power outlet, and a lot of storage space. In the third row, you can only fit kids because the leg spacing is only around 31.5 inches. The cargo area is pretty good, it's pretty vast, with 87 inches of cargo space with the 2 rows down. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's see how Nissan stacks up against the Pilot. The interior also has some premium leather, and the seats have 8-way adjustment. But it has more leg spacing of 44.3 inches and headroom of 42.5 inches as compared to the Pilot. The rest of the specs and storage spaces are almost the same, with a 9-inch LED display in the front. In the second row, we have only 35 inches of leg spacing, which is not pretty compared to some rivals. The other features like the USB-C port and the power outlet come standard with this. In the back, the leg spacing is just 28 inches. Finally, the cargo spacing with the 2 rows down is 80 inches. There's a large difference if you compare it to the Pilot. Hence, the winner for this round is the Honda Pilot. And guess what? The scores are now leveled at 3-3. Now, which one of these fits the pricing the best? Well, it is, drumroll please, the Honda Pilot. Since this is an SUV battle, what's the benefit if you're not comfortable in it, right? So Honda takes the final point and the scores are now 4-3 in favor of the Honda Pilot. That's it for today, folks. Subscribe for upcoming videos, then watch how these 2 popular family SUVs, the Toyota Grand Highlander and Honda Pilot, stack up against each other. See you next time.